The Border Management Authority will outline its plans to safeguard the country's ports of entry during this festive season. It's bracing for increased pressure at inspection points and immigration systems as millions of travellers move through borders, airports and seaports. Newzroom Afrika's Zola Shalwana joins us ahead of that briefing by the BMA officials. A very good morning to you, Zola. So we do know that at this time of the year, there's quite an influx of people moving in and out of our borders. Can we expect more tightened strategies from BMA?
Well, Katlaho, if you look at the time the Border Management Authority was formed, and last year, in terms of their statistics, we do understand that there has been a slight improvement in terms of how they were able to control, the situation in different ports of entry. So we are anticipating to hear from them as to what plans do they have for this particular festive season. As we understand that in the previous season, they processed over 5 million people in our different ports of entry, and OR Tambo International Airport was one of the ports of entries that received a high influx of people. But to get, just a preview on what to expect on today's briefing, we are joined by Dr. Lubengo, who is the Assistant Director here at BMA. Doctor, thank you very much for your time. Perhaps paint us a picture of what we should expect on today's briefing.
No, thank you very much, Zola, and a very good morning to all the viewers. Obviously, today, Commissioner is going to unveil the festive season operational plan. That plan is going to include, obviously, issues such as the operational hours that has been extended to some of the ports of entry. He will also share with us some kind of a relationship that we have with other stakeholders. It could be NGOs, including those that we have entered into some kind of memorandum of understanding, obviously, in the same space, that is border management space. So there are obviously other realities that are given that there could be obviously over times. He will also share with us some of the resources that we are going to deploy. And then obviously the issue of the drones as well as other gadgets that we are going to be using will also form part of what is going to share that us with. In addition to the operational plan of this festive season, there is also going to be obviously some pronouncement of how far we have done in as far as Q2 is concerned. So he will also be using the opportunity to remind travelers of the immigration requirements as well as those requirements that in the space of health as well as agriculture and environmental spaces. So that is what is going to share with us. That is operational plan as well as the Q2 obviously report.
I recall the first statistics that were released by the Border Management Authority just after a couple of months it was formed. There were a lot of, things that you had to relook at, things that you needed to improve on as far as operations are concerned. And when we looked at the stats that were released earlier this year, there was, noticeable, improvement. Obviously, we don't know how they're looking like at this moment, but would you say that you're confident that it will be something positive compared to last year and 2023?
Obviously, we are expecting a high number of travelers, and then in those travelers we do expect those who will be taking chances, but those who will be coming to the port without necessarily travel documents. But we are going to use, as I indicated, the gadgets such as the drones that we've been using in the previous festive season, as well as obviously the Easter season. So we have seen that they have produced a good results in terms of catching those who are not necessarily using the port itself. So we have also entered, as I indicated, into some kind of a memorandum of understanding with other stakeholders. They are obviously going to assist us in terms of ensuring that those vulnerable areas are obviously manned by people. Those are some of the things that we are going to do in as far as ensuring that we improve some of the realities that we have. Obviously, we have engaged with the traffic departments. They will help us to man the corridor, which is one of the challenges that we have, especially if we have to look at ports like Libomba and Beitbridge. So, yeah, those are some of the interventions that we have put in place in order to ensure that there is obviously improvement.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Lubengo, the last interaction we had, you spoke about, financial challenges that the BMA is actually experiencing, because that then restricts you in terms of the number of personnel that you deploy on the ground. And during the festive season, there has to be people on the ground, and they need to be positioned well to ensure that our borders are protected. Is it still a challenge?
Unfortunately, the issue of financial resources is still a challenge. We were hoping that through the medium-term budget policy statement, we will be getting some resources, but we didn't get anything as we expected. But we do hope that we will be getting something in the next, obviously, financial year. But we have decided in terms of ensuring that we capacitated these ports of entry that are giving us challenges, ensure that we have people from headquarters. All the commissioners will be deployed in these vulnerable ports of entry, and there are also those who are not necessarily in the space of migration that we are going to take from other ports that are not necessarily busy, so that they can be deployed in those ports that are busy. We have also decided that instead of just complaining about lack of financial resources, we do what we call cost recovery model, where we obviously identify some of the services that we can obviously charge travelers and also as the conveyancers. So that is something that we are looking at. Instead of saying that we don't have resources, we have to do something about that. Thanks.
Now, in comparison to when the Border Management Authority was formed, what are the border, infrastructure? Let's talk about border infrastructure that has been upgraded. I heard you spoke about drones. You spoke about, we also heard about body cams that will be attached to officers. How far are we with that, and will we see those during the festive season?
Yeah, we're going to see that. You will recall that I think in the previous quarter we reported about the training that we have done to pilots who are going to use the drones. Those are our pilots. We have also partnered with other, obviously, entities such as the DCD that are going to help us with the drones as well. We have, obviously, partnered with other entities which is going to give us body-worn cameras. We only have this far 40, but they committed that they are going to give us additional 40 body-worn cameras. So those are some of the gadgets that we are going to utilize as well. But in terms of the upgrade, if you are referring to the 6 ports of entry that we are going to upgrade, yes, indeed, the process is at a very advanced stage. It's managed by, obviously, National Treasury together with the Department of Home Affairs. We have identified Libombo, Bait Bridge, as well as Oshoek and Maseru Bridge, Fixback. I think there's also Kopfontein in that regard. And then those are the ports that we are going to upgrade. I think in the next financial year, there will be some progress that we'll be able to report.
When it comes to irregularities within the Border Management Authority, some of your officers that are deployed at the different ports of entry, how are you going to make sure that they do their job as they are supposed to? Because in the past years there has been allegations that they were taking bribes, allowing people to cross our borders with goods that are not supposed to be in South Africa. Other people wouldn't even have the right documents.
That is the problem that we continue to have, unfortunately, but we are doing something about that. We are obviously embarking on some kind of awareness. You might recall the awareness campaign that we had, which was also facilitated by the Border Management and the Immigration Anti-Corruption Forum. We are using those kind of awareness to at least educate our employees that you don't necessarily have to do this. If you do this, you are going to end up having to obviously find yourself in the orange overalls. We also partnered with the Department of Correctional Services, which is something that we are going to do, so that those inmates are able to come and share their experiences to, obviously, the immigration officer and those who could be thinking of corruption. But we are arresting those who are involved in those kind of misconducts, and all those who have found ourselves. I think the Commissioner will also touch on that in terms of quarter 2. We have obviously disciplined them. Some of them have been dismissed, and then even those who have appealed, their appeal obviously was not taken into account by the appeal board. So we are doing something about that. Obviously, the awareness part of it is something that we believe is going to assist a lot.
Dr. Lubengo, one last question before I let you go. In the last festive season, you processed about 5 million people in our different ports of entry. Are we anticipating a larger figure this time?
We are expecting the same number. You will recall in terms of Libombo, the issue of processing a lot of people was as a result of some political unrest on the other side of, obviously, the border, which is Mozambique. But we are expecting the same number, plus minus 5, obviously, for 5 million. But we will then have to be guided by at least what we then get from the statistics that we are going to use to ensure to make that comparison. But the number will be relatively the same.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, for your time. Well, we are anticipating to really get to see how this festive season is going to be looking like as far as the numbers of travelers that are coming in and out of our country, and also a reflection on the side of the Border Management Authority as to how far, they have come, how many interceptions they have had during the second quarter, and also what are the challenges that they've encountered and what needs to be done to make sure that in the next season they have improved statistics. For now, back to you in studio.
All right, Zola Shalana.